Know your Lord. We learn about his names and his attributes. Know your Lord. What he approves and disapproves. Know your Lord. Believe in all things that he has brought forth. Know his oneness, Lord.
Know Your Lord, part of the Right Belief series by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid, right here on Sunnahfollowers. Being taught by Ustada Layla Nash-Sheba as she lays down the foundations to get you together. Learn about your Lord. Know your Lord. Streaming on all major platforms. Channel Sunnahfollowers. Assalamu alaikum. Get to know your Lord. First part of the Right Belief series by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid. This dynamic literary work of art's main goal is to revive an understanding the names and attributes of Allah. And understanding the name and attributes of Allah will elevate our faith, strengthen us, and keep us steadfast. This wonderful book is now available in an audiobook format and can be found free of charge on YouTube, channel Kareem Abu Zaid. Get to know your Lord. You have nothing to lose. Know him, who he is, what
Rasulullah. I want to welcome everybody to our first class for tonight. And before I get started, I want to tell you guys that we changed the schedule today because Brother Muhammad Ziada, who's a law enforcement officer, he was going to be doing his class on raising kids in a non-Muslim society, but duty calls. He got called away to something that's going on where he at. So he had to cancel his class for this week, but inshallah, he'll be here next week with Dr. Jamali to continue advising us as to how we can better service our children and help them to keep their Muslim identity living in a non-Muslim society. And so I changed the schedule to this class, which is now, and then I'm going to do my Met Chalcidic. The Met Chalcidic Tafsir class will be held at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'll be filling in doing both my classes today. And I want to remind everybody that you can join all my live classes. Everything here at Sunnahfollowers is done live. And I am streaming on most major platforms. All you have to do is search for the title Sunnahfollowers, or on Twitter. On Twitter, use my name, Layla Nash-Sheba. You can use either one and you'll find me. Because I'm connected with Sunnahfollowers. That's our nonprofit organization name anyway, so that belongs to us. So just type Sunnahfollowers or Layla Nash-Sheba, and I am streaming live and simultaneously on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Rumble, on Twitch, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and also on Telegram. Okay. And what does that mean? That means I can also see your comments. If you are on Facebook, if you are on YouTube, if you are on Twitter, Rumble, Twitch, LinkedIn, I will be able to see your comments. So all you have to do, my classes are live. They're interactive. I am not a lecturer. I am an Islamic teacher. Okay, so it's a big difference. A lecturer just travels around giving talks. A teacher educates you, quizzes you, gets to know their students and try to push you to be the best you can be. And that's what I am all about. And I've been teaching Islam, since the age of 12. I've been born and raised Muslim. I'm an old lady. Don't let looks fool you. I was born in 1961, so I'm from the civil rights movement, the Malcolm X era. That's where Layla comes from, okay? So don't get it twisted. All right? And I've learned my deen from the best. That's a fact. The best scholars, who are all dead except for one. And my present teacher, who's been with me for the past 30 years, is named Sheikh Abu Atayib. That's my present teacher. You don't know who he is, that means you ain't nobody to know nothing. Hello, because he's well known. Okay, so let's get busy. We've been speaking about how, as Muslims, the way to get to know our Lord, the way to get to know about Allah is not from science. I don't care what Einstein's theory was about the spirit of a creator, of a higher being. We don't care what Sigmund Freud had to say either. We don't care what the Romans thought, what the ancient Greeks thought. The way to get to know Allah, as we've been speaking about for the past month in this class, is by learning his names and attributes. And when it comes to learning Allah's names and attributes, we have to be careful. We have to be careful. We have to be careful. We have to learn the name as Allah presents it to us, as our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained it to us. We cannot add to those names, and we cannot take away from those names. Okay? And the same with the attributes. And this is all a part of that Tawheed ar-Rububiyyah aspect of teaching about Allah, which refers to Allah's actions of lordship. And most Muslims today do not understand Allah's actions of lordship. And many don't even believe in them. As we've been speaking about all month, different deviant groups that don't believe in the qadr of Allah, or that Allah knows everything. They don't believe that Allah is the creator of everything, good and evil. They don't believe that Allah is the creator of our actions. Allah is the creator of all of that. And Allah is the only entity that can change the condition of man. A lot of Muslims today don't believe in that. That's why they're behaving the way they are about the trials of the world. So we've been focusing in on that for the past month. And the last time we met in this class, which was yesterday, we answered the question as to where is Allah? If you were to ask the average Muslim where Allah is, they'll say he's everywhere. Or they'll say he's above his throne, but his spirit is everywhere. That's the new thing now. Oh, his spirit is everywhere. Okay, we've talked about how, again, when it comes to speaking about Allah, we have to speak about him the way he presents himself to us, not make it up. He doesn't refer to himself as being a spirit. Okay? And this is very important. I don't want to hear any of my students ever referring to the spirit of Allah. You got that, Edward? Edward said, I'm not going to let him live it down. No. Brother Edward, I'm a teacher. I got to be hard on you. Okay? I don't want you to ever refer to the spirit of Allah. Yeah, I understand. He said he got it. Yeah, you'll never make that mistake again, will you? Mm-hmm. And that's how we are as believers. When we learn the truth about Allah, you know, we don't make that mistake again. Okay? Inshallah, you won't make that mistake ever again. Yeah. Yeah, so we don't refer to Allah as having his spirit being everywhere or any of that nonsense. And also yesterday we spoke about some other aspects of Allah's creation. Let me ask this question, just to see how many of you were paying attention yesterday. Allah tells us in the Quran that he created the earth in 7 days. Is that statement true or false? Is this what makes us differ from the Christians? The Christians say that Allah created the earth in 6 days and he rested on the 7th. Do we believe that Allah created the earth in 7 days without rest?
No, he created the earth in 6 days. It was an earth in 6 days.
Okay, did he rest afterwards?
No, he didn't rest. Allah don't need to rest.
Okay, do you guys agree with her answer? The new shahadas.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Nia agrees. Exactly. So that shows who was paying attention. What about you, Edward? Yeah, he said I couldn't catch him on that one. 6 days. Exactly. Allah did not create the earth in the world in 6 days and rest on the 7th. We already spoke about Allah is not in need of any rest. Allah is nothing like his creation. He's the creator. He's the creator. So he's not in need of rest. He never tires. He never gets thirsty. He never gets hungry. He's not in need of anything, but everything is in need of him. That's Allahu Akbar. So we spoke yesterday about some other components of Allah's creation. And let's see if you guys can remember these things. Let me put the PowerPoint up. This is your quiz for today. And by the way, today, as you can see from the little thing I put here, today I'm going to give you guys an example. I'm trying to set this up right. Hold on. You know, a format. We're going to we put together, Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid has put together in this book a 4-step format, that you can use when it comes to understanding the meaning of Allah's names. It's the same format. He didn't put it together. It's what we all use. It's the format that I use when I teach this class. You guys know when I teach you about the names of Allah, I teach it differently than other people. Even Sister Samat doesn't teach it the way I do. Okay? But I teach it using that 4 format that Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid uses, which is what all the scholars use. I learned it from Yusuf Qaradari. So I've been doing it ever since. Okay, so I'm going to give you that format with the name Ar-Rahman. But before I get to that, we're going to break down the meaning of that name. And this, if you use that format, it'll keep you from deviating to falling into what the mystics, Sufis fall into with hidden meanings and all of that. But before we get to that, and today that will be pages 192 through 195 in the book. But we're going to start off with the quiz from yesterday. Yesterday, we spoke about the 7 heavens. The 7 heavens that are mentioned in many verses of the Quran. And there's even hadiths, numerous hadiths that refer to the 7 heavens. So the 7 heavens are a part of this world. Is that statement true or is that statement false?
I would say you told us to look at
translate the heavens, the skies. So we can see one of them, one of the skies. So maybe true. I would say true.
Okay, so okay, she's saying it's true. She said that the seven heavens are a part of this world. Is there anyone that disagrees with her? Let me see your answers on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Twitch, Instagram. Let me know if anybody types on Instagram, Twitch, Rumble. What do you guys think? The seven heavens are a part of this world. Is this statement true or false? Anybody disagrees with her? She said it's true. Is there anyone? Is there anyone in the Zoom room that disagrees?
Nope, it's true.
Okay. Okay, we got some answers coming up. Oh, Fatima said true. Geechee said false. Okay, the correct answer is true. The correct answer is true. And the reason why it's true is, as Sister Nia said, I told you guys, the seven heavens refers to the seven skies. The seven skies. And those skies are a part of this world. When you look up, what do you see, guys? Do you guys see the sky when you look up?
Yes.
So that is a part of this world. Allah is not a part of this world. Can I look up and see Allah? No. Can I look up and see the angels? No.
No.
Can I look up and see the El Hurin? No. Can I look up and see paradise? No. Can I look up and see hell? No. The unseen world is not a part of this world. Okay? The seven heavens, like I told you guys yesterday. Good job, A-Kids. You got it right. Good. The seven heavens refers to the seven skies. The lowest being the one that we see here, and there's another sky above that. There's another sky above that. There's another sky above that. You go out in space, if the astronauts, then that's another sky. Okay? So don't confuse the skies with paradise. This is what I was telling you guys yesterday. The difference between Arabic and English. Heaven refers to paradise in English. Heaven refers to sky in Arabic. So the seven skies are not paradise, because paradise has more levels than seven. There are different. Paradise consists of many different levels and many different gardens. All right. Okay, what about this? We also spoke about the seven earths. Do the seven earths speak of paradise? What do you guys think? True or false? The seven earths speak of paradise. Is that statement true or false? Anissa, allow somebody else to answer.
Okay.
The seven earths speak of paradise. Is that statement true or false? And the people in my Zoom room, y'all lost without Anissa. That's why I don't want her answering. Y'all need to get it together in that Zoom room. Okay, let me see your answers on Rumble and Twitch and stuff. The seven earths speak of paradise. Is that true or false? Fatima said false. Okay, good job. Fatima typed false. Akiz typed false. And Layla said false. Brother Ahmed, good job, Ahmed. MashaAllah, you got it right. False. All of you are right. Again, the 7 earths is referring to the ground, the layers of the earth. As Dr. Dramali would tell you, because he's a geologist, there's 7 layers of the earth. You guys have heard the scientists talk about the 7 atmospheres. Those are the 7 heavens. You know, all of that is a part of the earth. That's how Allah created the earth. Allah created the earth with 7 heavens or 7 atmospheres, 7 layers of the dirt. You know, when I was a kid, I used to think that if I dig a hole and keep digging, we would end up in China. Seriously, when I was a little kid, 5 years old, I remember being 5 years old. Me and my little sister, I'd have her with me. And then we would start digging. I would tell her, I'm going away. I want to go to China to get away from everybody. So we'd go outside and sit there and start digging and digging and digging and digging all day, thinking that if we kept digging, we'd end up in China. Okay. SubhanAllah. So there's different layers of the earth. There's different layers of the skies, and those are all a part of this world. The earth is this world. That's the world we live in. We live on earth. This is our world. The universe is part of our world. The galaxy, part of our world. Anything like that. The stars are a part of our world. The sun is a part of our world, and etc. So, what about this? We also spoke yesterday about Allah's footstool. We talked about how Allah tells us in the Quran that beneath his footstool is an ocean. Y'all remember that? Allah's footstool is over 500 years above the ocean. Is the ocean a part of this world? True or false? The ocean beneath the footstool of Allah is a part of this world. Is this statement true or false? What do you guys think?
True.
Who said true? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the answer. Did y'all say true?
It was me. I said true.
Okay, that's Nia. Who else? Anybody else? Okay, we got different answers. Mina typed false. Fatima typed false. Layla said false.
False, Anissa.
Okay, the correct answer is false. Why is this false? Sister Nia, think about it. Why is it that the ocean that Allah speaks of, that's beneath his footstool, why is it that that is not a part of this world?
Because Allah is in paradise.
Exactly. We can't see it. If it was a part of this world, we'd be able to see it. Okay? And by the way, paradise, this is an email I got. Somebody sent me an email asking me, does paradise have oceans? Yes. When you guys go to my YouTube channel, listen to my series on paradise and hell. Paradise has oceans. It has oceans of milk, oceans of honey, oceans of wine. Paradise also has lakes and springs of water too. But Allah's footstool is above all of that. Okay, that's more dalil too, that when we talk about the heavens, we're talking about the skies of this world, not paradise. Yeah, paradise has many, many oceans, many, many springs, many, many lakes. Our Prophet Muhammad has his own lake. It's called El Qatar, and Allah speaks about El Qatar in the Quran. Okay, so the ocean below the footstool of Allah is not a part of this world because it's part of the unseen. And remember, Allah is high above his creation. Is paradise above earth? Paradise is not a part of earth, is it?
No.
In fact, remember the hadith where the prophet said his lake, El-Qatar is such a big lake that it covers this entire earth. And it's above it. So everything goes up, up, up for paradise, not down. Down is hell. The further down you are, the closer you are to hell in this world. Okay? So the ocean that Allah is speaking about, that his footstool is over, is not a part of this world. And yes, there are many oceans in paradise. So when we talk about this world means which of the following? It can be seen, or it cannot be seen, or both. Who can answer that? Nia?
That it can be seen.
It means it can be seen.
Good job.
Something that we would have to see, like the ocean, the earth.
See how easy Islam is? Islam is easy. As our Prophet Muhammad said, anyone with common sense can understand Islam. It's just that you guys have to learn from the right sources. You cannot teach yourself Islam. And just because a person makes a YouTube channel and has got 3 million followers doesn't mean anything. You know, the person has to be a person of knowledge who have learned from the scholars of this religion. The true scholar. I ain't talking about the fake blade mystics from out of Texas. No, I'm talking about the real scholars of the ulama. You got to learn from them, not these wannabes like what you got here in America. Can't learn. That ain't no scholars. Mystics. All right, so that summarizes what we talked about yesterday. And so now today I'm going to take you guys a step further. I'm going to give you guys the format that we use that can help you to explore and absorb the meaning of Allah's names. And we're going to do it using the name Ar-Rahman because that one is so easy. And again, there are 4 steps. When I teach that class on the names of Allah, I have y'all off the hook because y'all be thinking, you know, that's the format that I use. That's the format that Kareem Abu-Zayd used. That's the format that Sheikh Morsi used. That's the format Qaradari, El-Bani, and all the other scholars use. Okay? El-Bani, Uthaymin, all of them. May Allah forgive them all their sins. You know, this is the 4 steps that we use, you know, to help you to explore and absorb the meaning of Allah's names. Number 1, you have to validate the name. What does that mean? The name has to be a name that Allah has given himself. We talked about that. You can't make up a name like holy. It has to be a name that Allah has given himself. And it has to be proven through the hadiths, authentic hadiths, or through the Quran. That's the first step. Validate the name, that it is a name. The second step is your meaning has to be on point. You know how when ballet dancers, they stand on their toes, it has to be on point or they're going to fall. When it comes to learning Allah's names, you have to understand the name correctly without adding to it or taking away from it. And then once you understand the meaning, that's how when I teach, I make y'all get a dictionary, don't I? Do you see this is, y'all can see that this is the method I use because I'll tell you guys to give me the meaning of the name from out of a dictionary because most of you can't understand English correctly. And then After you understand the meaning of the name, then you identify the effect of it, which I have you guys do. How does Allah show us? Look around you. Look at his creation. What effects of Ar-Rahman do you see around you? And then you take that name and apply it. Apply it to yourself. Be maqasid. Apply it to your life. You praise. You call upon Allah using that name. When you're going through hardships in life, you fall back. These are the 4 steps that I use. These are the 4 steps that Sheikh Karim Abu Zayd used. This is what Sheikh Atli uses. Sheikh Morsi, Dr. Asim, Dramali, Elbani, Uthaymin, Bin Baz, Karadari, Umar El-Ashkar, Ibn Taymiyyah. These are the steps we use, because it'll trace back. It traces back to the Prophet. It's what the steps that the Prophet taught the companions to use. Okay? Now, let's start off with this name. Let me give y'all a little bit of background about the meaning of Ar-Rahman. First of all, Allah's Ar-Rahman appears in the Quran in 57 places. 6 of those points where Allah mentions Ar-Rahman is connected with Ar-Rahim. That's a trivia. Another specific regarding this name. The name Ar-Rahman is among the 3 names used in Bismillah. Bismillah, which we recite at the beginning of every chapter of the Quran, except the chapter of forgiveness. When we come into our house, we say Bismillah. When we eat our food, we say Bismillah. Okay? Whereas you guys know, Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahman, that's that name. And also, Ar-Rahman is the only name of Allah that Allah gave us a whole chapter about. We'll talk about that in our Maqasid class. Remember, we talked about every surah or every chapter of the Quran has a subject or a theme or an objective. Well, out of all his names, Ar-Rahman is the only one that he made a topic of or theme of a chapter. And also, Ar-Rahman is the only name that Allah used equally to his proper name in chapter Al-Isra. So these are just some specifics regarding this name. And so now that you see that that name does indeed exist, Ar-Rahman is one of the names of Allah. That's the proof. Allah mentions it all those times in the Quran. We say we use it in Bismillah, all of that. So now that we validated, now that we verified that it is a name that Allah uses for himself, Allah tells us in the interpretation of the meaning, call upon Allah or call upon the most merciful. And whichever name you call, to him belong the best of names. And do not recite too loudly in your prayer. And don't recite too quietly, but instead seek the balance. So when you are making dua, or you're supplicating to Allah, or you're talking to Allah, because all of us should talk to Allah on a regular basis. You don't want to be loud where other people can hear you, because your personal jinn in turn will push you to show off, to be seen. And you don't want to do it silently. You want to move your tongue. There's a hadith where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whenever you remember Allah, move your tongue, because your tongue will testify for you, and do it like a nice low voice where only you can hear. So you're going to call upon Allah with the name Ar-Rahman. Okay. We've proven from the Quran that it is one of Allah's names. And now I'm going to give you proof from the Hadith that it's one of Allah's names. Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the word Ar-Rahman, which refers to the womb that the baby is in. He said the womb gets its root from the name of Allah, Ar-Rahman. Allah said that he will keep good relationship with the person who keeps good relations with his kith and kin. And Allah also said, whoever cuts the ties of kinship, Allah will cut his ties with you. So that's a hadith that proves that this is one of Allah's names. Also, we have another hadith from Ibn Masud. May Allah be pleased with him. He said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said there are 3 different reasons why a person can have a horse. A lot of people have a horse to keep for Ar-Rahman. And a lot of people have a horse to keep for Shaitan. And some people have a horse to keep for themselves. As for the horses kept for Ar-Rahman, this is the horse that is being kept for the cause of Allah, for jihad. Okay? As for the horse that's kept for Shaitan, this is the person that keeps a horse so he can go and gamble, get to places where he shouldn't go to gamble. And as for the horse that's kept to serve man, this is a horse that does his job, tethering, plowing the field and all of that for man. So this wonderful hadith, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam refers to Allah as Ar-Rahman. So those are 2 more proofs that that is one of Allah's names. So you can call upon Allah using that name, Ar-Rahman. Now, the second step, once you validate that a name is one of his names, then you have to think about the meaning. What evidence is mentioned about Ar-Rahman? And our understanding of everything in regards to this religion, guys, must be on point with how those original companions understood it. Y'all understand? You have to understand the meaning of Ar-Rahman as they did, not as men and women today do, not as anyone that came after them. The first 3 generations, they all had the same understanding of Ar-Rahman. Our understanding must be on point with those first 3 generations of Muslims. Okay? And again, whatever derived attribute that may come from a name, it has to be understood as those original companions and their predecessors understood it too. So let's look at Ar-Rahman. The name of Allah, Ar-Rahman, means the beneficent, the kindest, the giving, the one who continually shows all creation his blessings, and who gives all the creation prosperity without any disparity. He's the one who is most kind, most loving, and merciful, whose endless loving mercy is perfect and inclusive. That means he doesn't exclude his mercy from anyone. And that makes it different than us as humans, because we are kind and loving to those people that we like. And then we can become mean and arrogant and pompous and disrespectful towards those whom we don't like. Well, Allah is not like that. His mercy is inclusive. It means it includes everyone and everything. And this is how those original companions understood it. And also, Allah speaks about the attribute of his mercy. Okay? But nowadays, guys, we have some theologians and skeptics, those mystic Sufis. They don't understand many of Allah's attributes and they misinterpret them. Or they are busy looking for the hidden meaning behind things. And one of the number one reasons why those people cannot understand the attributes of Allah is because they're too busy comparing Allah's attributes to the human being. That's why I say I don't care what science say. I don't care what no philosopher got to say. Who cares about philosophers? When Allah speaks, everyone shut up. Okay? As a human quality, mercy was created by Allah to trigger feelings and physical responses, such as your heart becoming softened, or crying, or vulnerability. But Allah's mercy is nothing like that. We cannot imagine Allah's mercy to be like ours. And that's where the mystics go. Those Sufi mystics, they take it on to a level like that. So do the Shiites and many other extreme fanatical groups. So again, when it comes to belief in Allah's attributes, we talked about this before, our belief must be as those original companions and their predecessors believed it to be, not anyone else. And when we talk about Allah's mercy falls in two different categories. His general mercy, and let's talk about that. The general mercy, this is what Allah gives to all his creation throughout the universe. It's the mercy that animals have towards their young, or like this cat does to a flower. It's the mercy that all of Allah's creation may have. Okay, even the non-believers. Allah's general mercy even encompasses them, even though they don't believe in Allah, even though the Kafirs curse him, they curse his prophets, Allah still sends rain down to them. Allah still listens to their supplications in this world. How many of you knew that? Allah doesn't listen to the supplications of the non-believer. They got nothing coming in the hereafter. But Allah may or may not listen to their supplications in this world. All of his creations are living peacefully and nurtured. A non-Muslim can be diagnosed with cancer, and then that non-Muslim can pray and Allah remove that cancer. Allah remove that sickness. Allah cure them of that sickness. So this is the general mercy that Allah sends to all of his creation. Whether they good people or bad people. Whether it's good animals or bad animals. So that's the first type of Allah's mercy. And then the second type is his special mercy. And this is the mercy that Allah only sends to those of us in this world who believe in him. Those of us whose aqidah is correct. Allah will show mercy to a Sufi mystic because he'll give mercy, general mercy to anyone. But special mercy, that special mercy, Allah will only show towards the true believers. He shows it to them in this world and in the hereafter. That's his special mercy. For those of us whose belief system is correct, and we live each day of our lives trying to earn the pleasure of Allah, the acceptance of Allah, the approval of him. For those of us who do what Allah commands us to do without asking why, as Dr. Asim stressed, without asking how, we just submit. These are the people that Allah sends special mercy to. He'll send miracles to you. He'll cause miracles to happen. Like one person I know, she was caught in a tornado, a Muslim woman. She was caught in a tornado. The tornado lifted her up in the sky. She went right through its funnel. And it landed her in a different city, in a different state, but she was fine. That's Allah's special mercy. And she had just had a baby. That's Allah's special mercy that he'll show to the true believers in this world, and he'll show it to them in the hereafter by blessing them with paradise, blessing them in their graves. They'll be told to sleep and their souls moved in the form of green birds flying around the throne of Allah. Listen to what Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning. Whoever does righteousness, whether male or female, while he is a believer, we will surely cause him or her to live a good life. And we will surely give them their reward in the hereafter according to the best of what they used to do. That's Allah's special mercy. That's reserved only for the true believers. Okay? Listen to what Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, tells us that our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said. He said, Allah has divided mercy into 100 parts. He kept 99 parts of it with him. And he just sent down one part to the earth. And because of that one single part, all the creation of Allah are merciful to each other, to the point where female horse will lift up its foot for its baby so it doesn't get trampled on. So that's just one portion of Allah's mercy. The portion that Allah gave us and put on earth is just 1/100 of his mercy. SubhanAllah, that's something for us to think about. Also, Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, said, some of the prisoners of war were brought forward after one of the battles, and a woman was with them milking her breasts to feed the children, because a lot of the children had lost their parents. So she was taking milk out of her breasts to feed the babies that didn't have a mother to nurse them with. And when the Prophet saw her, he said to the companions, do you imagine that that woman would ever throw her son into the hellfire? They said no. Even if she had the power to do it, she wouldn't do it. And the prophet said, well, guess what? Allah is more merciful to his believers than that woman is to a child. Subhanallah. So that shows how Allah's mercy encompasses everything. How Allah's mercy is greater than his anger.